Before we do anything, we must clear the gun. Now we can begin, and I'll show you why I'll be keeping this one. Thank you for coming in and watching the final part. Well guys, this is the final part in my what was supposed to be a 3-part series. On this final episode of the series, which revolves around this Colt 1911 I just finished, I show you a couple videos, clips, whatever you want to call it, of this particular gun coming back to life. As you can see, there's my repair job on the stippling that was there. I'll get into that a little bit. I had the Wilson Combat front checkering piece of metal that you go and put it on here in between the grips. That decided that it would slide down as I shot it. Eventually it interfered with the magazine, and I had to remove it because not only did it bend, what ended up happening was I couldn't get the magazine in. Then, as fate would have it, as I'm fiddling with it, trying to figure it out, I do this number on my finger, blood blister and cut. Not a big deal, whatever. Going forward, what I will be doing is talking about knife making. This here is a knife I made last year. It's supposed to be an old school Bowie knife. I pinned the brass through this piece of metal, which is from a 1800s sawmill blade. What makes this particular piece of metal so special is that it has a high content of nickel in it, which keeps it from rusting. But that will be the channel moving forward. I may do other weapons, but I'm going to talk more in depth about that. But for now, the 1911, she's dirty. And again, I've cleared it. You know, the mag's in there, but everything's clear. I'm filming with one hand, so you have to trust me that I opened it up and checked it before I started playing with it. Always clear your weapons. I sorted out the debacle with these grips, and I got a set of stag grips. They're actually camel bone. I really like them. They were from Amazon, about $30. However, I don't know if they'll have more in stock, but I got the last set. Furthermore, when I was taking the old grip panels off, I had an issue here where, as you can see, these are different screws. I went to a Torx bit. I think it's a number 10 Torx. The bushing, which I think is still on my kitchen floor somewhere, came out with the grip panel, the old wood. Thank God the bushing, so this is the screw, goes into a bushing. Thank God that did not strip out of the frame. However, O-rings on your screws are very important. I've come to learn this. And don't over tighten it, just enough to be snug. I did a little novice minor gunsmithing and took down the bushings so that these would lay flush with the grip. So these are on there pretty good. I'm going to be honest, I made a stupid mistake. Take it apart and do it right. I was lazy. You can see that grease on there. I was lazy. You can see where the bluing is messed up. The 600 grit on the belt sander put a little line. It's gone now. I hand sanded it down, but it put a little line in the slide. Guys, this kind of thing happens, and I'm the first to tell you I'm not happy with myself for doing something that stupid. But it happens. Going forward, I think that what I would like to do with this, I've been debating. Sounds weird, but I'm going to put the combat cutout here for the finger groove. I have stubby, fat hands. Suggestions. I need some suggestions. Do I get a jig and attempt to do proper checkering, or just leave it alone? That's the hard part. Do I leave it alone? As far as the slide's concerned, for whatever reason, I'm feeling like I want to have some kind of nice engraving on this gun. Maybe I'll have the original slide engraved, but I will contact a professional. Another option is, because the bluing is already ruined so many places, either doing a nice peacock bluing or getting it parkerized. Great. In today's video, you're going to see that I managed to make this thing run essentially flawless. I had no failures to eject, no failures to feed. Every round that I shot through it today, which was about 100 rounds, and you're going to see some clips from the other day, I think I had one failure to feed. I lied, but I think that was just me. But all the improvements were worth it. Nice click, nice audible click. In my previous video, I made the mistake of saying that the front spring is supposed to be 18.5 pounds from another YouTube video that I watched. A guy that did the research, he said it's 16. So I'm going to go with 16 pounds. But the 18 pounds runs flawless. All that being said, oh yeah, I want to show you this too. This is my little survival kit. Duct tape. In there I got a few survival items, candle, etc. I'll go over that too in my next video about survival and everyday carry. Let's get into the video. Let's show you how it shot and put an end to the series. We've got our new parts all put in here. Make sure I'm not limp wristing it. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7. Well, it's all over the place again, but I wasn't really aiming. I was more so, oh, here's 7. More so trying to see if everything's going to function. Let me put a couple more rounds through the gun, and I'm pretty happy. Let's try and get a nice group. All right. Now, a few of you said to shoot from a bench at 10 yards until I can get some polymer rounds. I won't be able to do that. So, next best thing, I'm going to have a seat here. Use the table as a bench rest. I'm going to aim like that. Oh boy. Failure to feed. Let's call that a fluke. Well, all of those seem to hit real low. Clearly, I'm going to have to do something about the sights. However, the gun functioned pretty well. Way better than it did last time. I'm going to run 2 more mags. Try and get over here, see what's going on again. And then that's going to be a wrap. Well, I'll take it. I won't take this, however. Cut my finger. But you guys suggested 10 yards. Here it is. Awesome. Here's how we did with the 45 this time, with the sight adjusted and everything. I'm still not that great of a shooter. You know, they're still going left. I'm going to try and tune this thing in, play around with it a little bit more. I'm going to go for here and call it a day. Gun's a success. I'm very happy. You know, nice little grouping. This was my 7 shots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. This one was a test. Not too shabby. Well, guys, it's not easy doing all this YouTube talk. Ultimately, I just want to say thank you. I appreciate all the likes, comments, suggestions. Thank you for Wilson Combat with this nice extractor that I bought from you guys. Thank you to Colonimus Parts for the ejector. Ultimately, this project was a success. None of this would have happened unless I had that initial failure to extract. You guys helped me out quite a bit. Thankfully, no tuning was involved with the extractor. It worked right out of the box, fit right in there, and I got to shooting 100 rounds through this thing. Not one failure to operate. I'm sure it will happen down the road, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. I'll show you guys in the next video some of the stuff I like to carry in my pocket when I go for a walk or a little hike. Something that will get you out of a jam. This is my little survival kit. I'll talk about that more going forward. But until then, happy Thanksgiving. I'll see you next time.